family. Working tonight. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette show live on Real Talk 100 Radio. She's been on a short hiatus, y'all. That's why I got her hiding behind this flyer right here. She's been all over the country and just all over the country. I told her I wanted to get in the suitcase and she left me here. Y'all believe that? She left me here. But just playing with y'all. She's just fresh off a vacation. I think it was a 10-day, 7-day or 10-day vacation, correct?
What?
7 day. What
That
that
took
long?
a month.
A whole
You
month.
kidding me?
That month went by lickety split.
It did.
I mean, like it was like you just left.
Yeah.
But a whole month, y'all.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear that? A whole month. A whole month.
I'm ready to go again.
And she's ready to leave me again.
I am.
Oh, I'm sad. I cried when she told me she was leaving the first time. But she's back, everybody. This is another edition of the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette show live on Real Talk 100 Radio. She is a sponsor of her own show right here in Houston, Texas. The name of her business is Williams Counseling and Play Therapy. Williams Counseling and Play Therapy. I'll let her explain a little bit more about that. But we have a special guest in the building, two, in fact. We have J.L.&M's Chicken and Waffles, and we also have Wake Up with Sarah. Wake Up with Sarah is a life coach, and J.L.&M's Chicken and Waffles, it's a food truck here in Houston. With no more further ado, everybody, here's the good doctor.
Well, thank you for that, Malcolm. I appreciate that grand introduction.
You know how to do it.
Yeah. I'm happy to be back.
I'm happy to see you again.
Yeah.
I'm ready to cry. Y'all get ready to cry too, you listening audience.
Oh, come on now. All
I
right.
didn't want to be a spoiler, but go ahead.
All right. Again, welcome everybody. I'm Dr. Annette. Welcome to the Wisdom Walk. We are happy to have you tuned in tonight. We do have two awesome guests tonight. And if you have seen the flyer, you know that we'll talk about loss and grief, but also recovery with our life coach. So our first guest tonight is Miss Juanita Brown Christian.
Hello.
I've been trying to get this lady on this show since when?
It's been a while.
It's been a while, all right?
We've changed the date a couple of times.
Yes, we have. But God saw fit to bring you here tonight, and I'm so happy that you're here.
Yes.
I'm
glad
so
to be here.
excited about this lady, guys, because she is the epitome of a recovery. And I'm not going to tell her story. I'm going to let her tell her story. But when I say you can do it, when you put your mind to it, it doesn't mean that you escape over the grief or whatever, but the will, just the sheer will to continue moving forward. See, I'm already tearing up.
Yes.
But I'm not going to do that right now.
Yes.
So Juanita, tell us something about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm a native of Bryan, College Station, born and raised, went to school there, graduated from Bryan High School, 1984.
You're a baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Studied at Sam Houston State University, got my college degree in business administration, secondary language in Spanish.
Whoa.
And I'm an athletic person. I love swimming. I love basketball. I played the cello for 20 plus years.
What?
Piano, yes.
Look at you.
Music was my passion.
Well, this is new. I didn't know this, but this is awesome.
Yes.
Okay. You wear many hats.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All
I
right.
can get down on the cello.
Oh, well, good. All right, then. You should have been a part of Barry White's orchestra back in the day.
I should have.
All right. So we met through a mutual friend Dr.
Yes.
Linda Embassy, who's probably tuned in because
Yes,
she's
she
a
is.
regular. Uh-huh.
Yes, she is.
Shout out Country Girl with the PhD.
She's on the screen right now.
Okay, all right, all right.
Hello,
So,
Malcolm and Dr. Annette. She said.
hey, but
Hello.
we met through Linda,
Yes.
and
yes.
it was just so natural.
Yes.
It was
Chemistry.
like, yeah, just the
Yes.
chemistry was there.
Yes.
And anytime something goes on with Juanita, Country Girl lets me know. And I'm like, wow, you got to be kidding me. Now she got a truck. Now she got a restaurant. Oh, she got. And I'm just so, again, just so excited for you and the things that you were doing. So you worked in the restaurant industry for a while, though, didn't you?
Yes. I worked for Church's Fried Chicken for about 27 to 30 years. I love cooking. I love meeting new people. It's just a passion. I love people, period. You know, so just cooking was something that I enjoyed. And I put all my love into my food, and people love it. It's amazing. It's delicious.
You put so much love into that Church's Chicken that you met your husband at Church's Chicken, didn't you?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. See that?
Yes.
What?
And who says that a way to a man's heart is not through his stomach? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, all right. All right. All right.
Yeah. So I met my husband, Keith Christian. We weren't married very long. After being married for 6 months, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And he passed within like 6 months from that. So we were only married a year and 2 months. So I carry on all of this passion and legacy and love that I have in my food.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. So you worked for Church's, and when did you leave Church's Chicken, and then where did you go, and what made you decide to leave?
Well, I worked for Church's. I left Church's in 2016. I got married to Keith Christian in 2016. And before then, I was working 2 jobs. I worked at St. Joseph Hospital as patient access for 10 years. And I was raising my 2 daughters, you know, single parent for a minute. And I met him. We got married. He said you could only work 1 job.
All right.
I gave up that job and just stayed at the hospital because it was easier and I can be free and be at home more with my kids to help them. They were sickly. And so I left there and I just stayed at home pretty much and took care of him after he got sick. So when he got sick, I stopped working and I took care of my daughters. And Lacey passed 2 months after we got married, the oldest daughter. She passed away with a congestive heart failure. And then in 2019, I lost Margot, which was my younger daughter. She passed away with kidney disease, which is renal failure. Lost my mother 5 months after my daughter. My mother was my backbone, my everything. Everything I went through in life, I think most of my decisions in life was due to my mother. She wanted me to go to college. I didn't feel like going, and she said, "Well, do this for me," and I did it anyway.
Sounds like Linda's mama.
Yes.
Linda was out somewhere, and her mama, I enrolled you in school, so you need to be back here.
To go to school and get that degree.
We need more mamas like that.
Yes. Yes. So my mother was my push, and losing her took a lot from me also. And after she passed, 6 months later, I lost my brother, which was he was my everything also. He fixed everything for me that I need fixing. He helped me on the food truck. I can call him anytime, and he was always there for me.
So we're talking about a 3-year span.
Yes.
Of losing your daughter, your husband, your other daughter, your mom, and your brother.
Yes.
Wow. I want to go back though and talk just a little bit about the congestive heart failure. When was your child diagnosed with that?
Okay, well, I was carrying Lacey, and I was diagnosed with a abnormal heartbeat while I was carrying her. I was about 4 months pregnant, and so her heart rate was around 40-ish. And they put me on some medication to increase my heart rate so that I can carry her a little bit longer. They was trying to get her to full term, at least close to everything full term. And after a while, then my immune system kind of just adapted to the medication, and it stopped increasing her heart rate. So eventually I had to go in and have a emergency C-section to have her. But she was born with a congenital heart block on the left side, and that consists of like you have no pumping. It just mended straight across, and you have no pumping where the heart is not pumping together. Each side is pumping together. So she was a pacemaker baby at birth.
Wow.
As soon as I had her, they took her and rushed her out of the room and put a pacemaker in her to pace her heart.
I've never heard of anything like that in my life. Is that something that's rare, or is it more common that we know? Or
Well, when I was carrying her, they was saying that I carried some of the lupus antibodies. If anyone knows what lupus is, it's a disease. It attacks the immune system. It attacks your organs, and people get full blown lupus, and eventually they pass away. But I've never been diagnosed with the full blown, of course, lupus. I only carry some of those traits. It run down like 3 generations from my family, but it is in my family.
wow.
So it was due to some of the traits that I was carrying that she had the congenital heart block.
Wow. Mm. All right. And then the husband, and then your other daughter,
Margot,
Margot.
yes,
And so you said she also had.
she was at the age of 15, her native kidneys stopped working, both of them. The doctors did not know why. And when they went in to try to do a biopsy, they said that it was too much scar tissue to even determine what attacked her kidneys. And so she ended up, of course, going on dialysis. She got on a transplant list, and she was on the list for 2 years. So she got the transplant in 2016, the same year Lacey passed away. And her own body or antibodies attacked the transplant kidney. And so she didn't have that kidney very long. She was always in the hospital. They were always changing up meds and giving her different meds and trying to save the kidney that they transplanted. But she just couldn't, it rejected. So she went back on dialysis. And I think that, we talked a lot, and that was one of the hardest things, that when people are on, no matter if you diabetic or hypertension, high blood pressure, you go on dialysis, it affects your body. It takes from you. It sucks the life out of you, and people don't know that when people are on dialysis, they struggle a lot. They struggle. I've seen it happen over and over again. I can sit there with her in dialysis, and she would look at me and tears in her eyes, and she's like, "Mom, I want to get off the machine." And of course, me being a mother, I would be like, "Well, let's call the doctor and see what he says." So the nurses have to, adjust the meds or call the doctor, see if she can come in a different day and make up that 30 minutes or whatever it was. But I lost her due to hypertension and her kidney failure.
How frequent are the is the dialysis?
It was 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it was 3 hours, I think 3 hours or 4 hours each time.
Yeah.
On the machine. So they take all of your blood out, cleanse it, and then put it right back in. Yeah. So.
Whew.
Got to take a breath on that.
I got to take a breath on that.
Yes.
because you and I were talking on the phone, and I said everything that you said reminded me of my sister
Yes.
and the blackouts, the hypertension, all of that, and the next thing we knew, she was gone.
Yeah. And doctors don't really, doctors don't understand. They just have a medical degree and they go by the books. But, nature sometimes has a turn for itself. And even Margot, we tested her for lupus, no signs of lupus.
Mm-hmm.
They said no, she didn't have lupus.
Mm-hmm.
But look what happened to her kidneys. It was nobody knew what happened.
Mm-hmm. That's the same
So-
thing with her. That was the same thing with my sister. Just one day renal failure. And I was
Yes.
like, what is going on here? But they never diagnosed her. Well, we don't know if she even requested it. But from other relatives, I was told that there is lupus in the family. So that's something to think about, folks, and I understand that not just a general testing for lupus
Mhm.
will always show that it's there. There's
Right.
some special genetic testing,
Hiding,
yeah,
in the blood.
that has to happen for that to be,
Mhm.
for that to be found out. So, with all of that going on, what were your thoughts? What were you thinking? What were you feeling?
Well, just even to hear the diagnosis that your daughter creatinine is 19 when your normal is 1, and it's like, what happened, and she's like not feeling well and she's nauseous and she's throwing up and like what happened, because over the years, of course, you take them to the pediatrics,
Mhm.
you take them, they were in basketball, you take them to get physicals, you doing everything that you know possible to take care of your children.
Mhm.
And then it still ends up that they are diagnosed with something bad,
Mhm.
any disease. It could have been cancer. Cancer is running rapid, anything. But just through it all, and my mental perspective in life, it was like, God, what do I do? Why is this happening? And even my daughter, like, Mom, I love the Lord, I go to church, why is this happening to me, Mama? Why is this? Why did I get picked to have kidney disease? And then I tell her, Margot, why not you? But I would trade places with you if I could. So um just throw it all in your mindset. You have to have some type of fallback on, or some type of release. And my release was my family, my mother, and when God took them, it was me and God. That's all I knew. That's all I knew. And that's all I have right now. Standing the course, standing it. Because I would have gave up many days. I wanted to, Lord, take me away, take me, let me be with my children, my family. Why am I still here? But he says, God knows the plan for your life. Jeremiah 29:11.
That's right.
He knows.
He knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb.
He know every hair strand on your head. He knows. And it's not for us to continue to question. It's okay to say, but you just pick up the pieces and keep pressing on a daily basis.
That is an awesome perspective, because so many people struggle after loss.
Yes.
They stay in that place trying to figure out, and without divulging a lot of information, I can't identify with you because I haven't walked that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't walked that walk.
Right.
I've had loss, and I know what
Right.
it feels like to have a significant loss.
Right.
But uh, talking to you, and I'm thinking about my mom, how she lost my oldest brother and the baby.
Mhm.
And so, although her other children have kind of, we've moved on, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
emotionally, not that we've forgotten about them. We struggle with trying to understand why mama hasn't just picked up and
And
moved
move
on
forward.
too.
It's sometimes you feel like you just stuck right there in a rut. Like it were times that I felt like I just I was so down and depressed that I didn't want to do anything, didn't want to go anywhere, just want to stay in my own pity party,
Mm-hmm.
and mom, she's probably, just the same way. Why would you shouldn't I shouldn't have to outlive
My
my
children,
children,
yes, yes, yes.
and she's like dealing with life on life terms. Like
Mhm.
that's not the norm, so when she's ready, she will press forward
Mhm. Mhm.
when she is ready.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell you how to grieve, when to cut it off, when to
Mhm.
zap back to the norm.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. And
It's something between you and God
yeah,
that
yeah,
helps you to get to that point.
yeah. And I want to be clear, folks. I'm not saying that my mom should move on. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, uh, we, her children, are trying to understand.
Stand.
And we probably never will,
Mhm.
But I think what makes it so difficult for her is not having answers.
Right.
We don't know why, either of them passed away.
Mm-mm.
We know that, the autopsy said heart problems, so on and so forth, but
Mhm.
it was more than that. So my
Right.
question to you is, does that bring you any peace knowing, or, would it be different if you had not known?
No, because with Lacey, I knew before she was even born with the congenital heart block. So it was better to know that she had this beforehand.
Mhm.
But Margot, born a normal baby, just out the blue, bam. So that was real difficult for me to handle my baby. This
Yeah.
was my baby,
Yeah.
my baby.
Yeah.
All I had was two kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
and still to this day, I still have a struggle, but I don't dwell in it. Don't keep dwelling upon the unknown,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it can just consume you just because you don't know, and there are no answers,
Mhm.
But God can. He say, "I'll be your comforter." You
Mhm.
can lean on him
Mhm.
whenever you need him,
Mhm.
because you won't know until you get to heaven, and you're complete in him, and
Mhm.
he'll tell you, he'll explain everything to you.
Mhm.
This is why this happened,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
because man will not know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Man will. They can't tell you why.
Yeah. We're seeing a change in her. She's getting stronger, and I'm just saying this, folks.
It's wonderful.
I moved in with her in December, because she needs the extra support, and
Mhm.
so what I'm having to do with her is like challenge her. We have
Mhm.
devotion in the morning, and I'm like, Mama, do your leg exercises,
Yes.
walk out to the mailbox with your walker,
Yes.
and I can really see her coming back to life
Right.
because she spent all of the holiday in the hospital. And so, with some heart stuff, and the last few days I've seen this will to live.
Yes.
And I was telling my
Praise
sister
God.
that, I said, my brother and sister, I said, I see a will to live in her. And so,
Praise
whatever
God.
we need to do to continue to support that,
Mhm.
we're going to do.
Yes.
And I say to her every day, I'm not going anywhere, Mama. I'm going to be right
Mhm.
here. Well, why haven't you moved your clothes in? And why have you, because I still go to my house. That's a change for me. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Having to go from my house to like,
Sure.
I was just getting used to sitting up and
Watching the
looking at
TV.
TV. Yeah, the children are gone, and so
Yes.
now I have this awesome responsibility, And so it just
Yes.
takes some time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's nobody like mom.
Yeah, nobody like
Nobody
mama.
can take her place, and
Mm-mm.
you just have to hang in there with her
Mhm.
and just be there, be
Yeah,
that rock for her.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard seeing her go down.
Yes.
So
Yes.
again, whatever we can do to help with that and to,
Yes.
just we're
Yes.
gonna
Because
do
it
it.
was hard for me and my siblings. Our mom, she was a go go go. She was a minister. She had three churches, and she was always doing something. And when my kids was in the hospital, she was
Mhm.
always on the road.
Mhm.
She would come to the hospital, give me a time to go home and regroup,
Mhm. Mhm.
and so it was hard to see my mom. She was diagnosed with bladder cancer,
Mm.
and in September
Mhm.
before she died, and then she died in November. It's like 2 months.
Ooh.
I mean, she was like gone, and we've never known her to be sick or
Mhm.
never have been in the hospital, or, she had like thyroid in her
Mhm.
earlier days, but that was it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, it's difficult to see your mom or your parents,
Mhm.
struggle with, life
Mhm.
and
Mhm. Mhm.
illness,
Mhm. Mhm.
So
So if I remember, I think after your brother, or maybe even before that, Linda was saying, "Girl, guess what? Juanita bought a food truck." I said, "What?" Yes,
after Lacey,
after Lacey.
me and Margot, the younger daughter, opened it up in 2018. It was Lacey's passion to. She wanted to go to culinary school,
Mm,
so it was her passion to get a restaurant. Was ours,
mhm.
and she would sit at home when she was sick and watch TV. So she want to see Guy on television because he drives around to
Mhm.
diners and drive-in and eat up everybody's food. And so um, we she didn't see it come to life, the food
Mhm.
truck. So me and Margot opened the food truck up in 2018,
Mhm.
and then Margot passed 2019,
Mhm.
a year apart from opening it.
Wow,
Yes.
wow. Now tell
Yes.
us what JLM stands for.
Juanita is
Mhm.
me. The L is for Lacey, my
Mhm.
oldest, and the M is for Margot.
Mm.
But I tell everyone at JLM, it stands for Jesus loves me.
All right, all right. Well, you better turn that
Yes.
thing
Tell
around,
the Lord
Juanita.
thank you.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right, all right. So you started this food truck.
Yes.
I have to ask, when you started it, did you have a menu in mind? Or are you like, we're just going to figure this thing out and make it work?
Yes. I didn't really have a thing in mind. It was just chicken, because me working for churches, I was the best at it.
Mhm.
In from Bryan all the way to the surrounding counties, could nobody outdo me on no chicken.
All right.
And I still hold that title,
All
if
right.
everyone knows. But I just knew I can fry some chicken, and that chicken is gonna be juicy, delicious, has taste,
Uh-huh.
and crunchy on the outside.
All right. All right.
And so we didn't really have a menu. We started out just doing chicken wings and tenders.
Mhm.
And to this day, I'm still doing chicken wings and tenders.
Uh-huh.
And we do them in 3 flavors, which is original, Cajun, and lemon pepper garlic.
Oh, wow.
And my number one seller is Cajun.
Get out.
The Cajun is the seasoning that Lacey put together herself.
What?
I still got the write out of the recipe in her signature, her writing.
Oh, uh-huh.
And I
uh-huh.
tweaked it and added it a few things just to make it a little bit more
Uh-huh.
spicier with some cayenne.
Yeah.
And it's our number one seller
Number
today.
one seller.
Mhm.
Get out. Okay, I have two thoughts in mind. The first thought is the restaurant that you had in Hearn.
Caldwell.
Yeah, Caldwell. Okay, so hold that thought. But after you opened the truck, or got the truck started, COVID hit.
Yes.
Okay. And so that was really a difficult time for a lot of businesses. But speak to how you used your truck
Yes.
during COVID.
Yes. Businesses were closing down, closing their doors, and just couldn't survive with COVID, because a lot of people were staying in. But when it hit, I was having people call me, "Can you come here? Can you come there?" I was traveling all over the place. people were, when the ice storm came in and everybody lost their electricity. They was like, these people were without electricity for like 3 or 4 days. Can you come over and feed them? And I was like, sure. So I was like driving down the road, like really slow to get to this place. I say, Lord, we gonna make it happen tonight. And so we drove over and fed all of those people, and they wanted us to come back the next day, and we did. And then other places, like just people needing food, we were having like sandwiches. Some of it we gave away. We were doing like salads, tenders, and waffles, and people were getting extra waffles. They wanted to put their waffles up so they can heat them up in the microwave. And man, we were selling a lot of chicken and waffles. We did a lot. We did a lot.
All you needed was one of those ice cream kind of horns and music.
Yes, a music
I
going
can
down
see
the
you
street.
going down from street to street selling chicken and waffles.
Yes, Lord.
But that was very ingenious.
Yes.
You know, and you survived where, like you said, a lot of businesses closed.
Yes.
So it required creativity.
Yeah, some of my top sales
Yeah.
happened during COVID.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now take us to the restaurant in Caldwell.
I didn't have that open very long.
Okay.
It was only for like a trial. It was right next to a beauty school.
Mhm.
So I only did like a six month lease because I wasn't real familiar with that area.
Mhm.
And I just was trying out something to see how it would go.
Mhm.
And in the restaurant, we did breakfast. We did pretty good selling
Mhm.
breakfast. I had a Spanish girl that was my manager, and she did breakfast tacos.
Mhm.
I would come in while she's doing the breakfast tacos. I would do the meal for the day, and I would do all of my cooking. So, like I say, I was the one that put the spin on the food that came out, and we only did that for a trial run for 6 months, and we just shut it down. And now, to this point of
Wait, hold that thought. What did you learn from the trial run?
I learned location plays a big part of your brick and mortar. Your flow through traffic, of course, plays a big part. Even though you may think that it's a lot of traffic from that Highway 21, it's the getting into that brick and mortar that and the parking lot area that plays a big part. So, you know, of course, if you got a small area, you can't get any big trucks, and if people can't get in and out like they should. So, just for if you're out trying to do a brick and mortar or a restaurant or any kind of business, make sure that you seek all those attributes as far as your restaurant or your business.
Well, I have to speak to the audience though, because I hope that you all are hearing this and actively listening to Juanita, how through her adversity, she still had a dream. She still had a goal, and it knocked her down, but it didn't knock her out.
Yes. Yes.
And so to still be in this place standing and about to open another restaurant,
Yes.
talk to us, Juanita.
I mean, God is so awesome. You're going to have me crying in a minute.
I'm sorry. I gave you some tissue.
You have to understand me. I press on because of my family and my children, because I remember when I first opened up, KBTX had me on Channel 3 News. My mother was there. My daughter was there. And it's I do everything for them. They I carry on their legacy.
Yeah.
So right now I'm getting ready to open this brick and mortar in Bryan College Station.
Wow.
I love people and people love me.
They do. And we do.
And so it's gonna be in a good location, the best location that I could think of. A lot of flow through traffic. The parking lot you can get in and out. I won't have a drive-through, but I can walk your food out to you.
Well, you better go on
We
Chick-fil-A.
will have curbside service,
Oh my
and we
goodness.
will make it happen. If you can't get out, or if you need a delivery, I will put the chicken on the side of the truck, and we'll have a JLM's chicken on the loose delivery.
All right. I love it. I love it. So
Dr. Annette,
I'm sorry.
please hold your thought.
Okay.
While I hold back tears, I have some family members who are very proud. And I
Okay.
thought this was the right moment.
Yes. I was so wrapped up into what she was saying, I
Right.
forgot about the people.
Oh, that's
That's
my
right.
sister.
Okay.
Miss Regina Burns is on YouTube tuned in, and she says, "Sissy, we are so proud of you." We also have Regina Burns saying, "Our grandmother, our mother, our brother, and your kids are smiling down on you."
Yes.
So we had several others from Miss MSI. She was just pretty much, Miss Victoria Williams said, "Yes, they do. I lost my sister and my niece. I'm not sure. I didn't want to cut y'all off though.
Mm-hmm.
Back about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, she's lost about
Okay.
7 people in the last 2 years.
Yes, my grandmother too. Last.
Miss Linda said she was the first one to comment. I believe she said, "My BFF Juanita is a strong woman, but God."
Mm-hmm.
So
My sister Lisa.
Lisa Brown McKee just tuned in. She said, "God bless you, Juanita Brown Christian." Back to the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette show. I encourage everybody listening on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook to please share the video all over the world. This is the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette show.
Mhm.
Hit that love or like button a few times for us and tag others that have struggled through life. And we're back to the show.
Yeah, and call in by all means. I think the
Yeah.
number is scrolling. If you have any questions for me or you have any questions for Juanita, call in. If you are grieving, call in and let us share some words of encouragement with you because you can do it.
Yes.
You've heard this story. You can do it. You can move
Yes.
forward, right?
Yes.
She had a strong support system, still has a strong support system. So we are here for you. Okay.
Yes.
So
yes.
so the restaurant is also JLM.
It would yes. It
Okay.
would be also JLM. And it should be up and going in the next few weeks.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll reach out to Facebook, Instagram. I'll put the address on there and we'll put a grand opening. Everybody come out and get some hors d'oeuvres and some
horse
mimosas
divers.
and some mimosas and some of them Cajun tenders
Yes,
on a waffle.
yes, please,
Yes,
please,
yes.
by all means.
I want you and Malcolm and Sarah to come.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
you hear what I said? Some horse divers.
Yes.
Not hors d'oeuvres, some horse divers. That is just awesome. That is awesome. So this is just, it's a proud moment because
Yes.
again, like I said, when I met you, I remember Linda saying, "Oh yeah, she's a manager over at churches," and now
Mhm.
you're the owner
Yes.
of not only the truck but the restaurant.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
God is good.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
is. Yes, it is. So with the opening of the restaurant and the catering truck, has this been therapeutic for you?
Yes, it has. It has. I do believe that maybe a part of me would have gave up long time ago if I didn't have anything to grasp
Mhm.
or to push me, because many mornings I would get up and say, I'm just not moving today. But then that little voice, my Lacey would say, Mom, get up. It's time to get up, Mom. It's time to go to work. So that would push me forward to go out and get it.
And you still going
And
out
I'm
and getting
still
it.
going. I'm still going.
Yeah. Now, what do you do for yourself in terms of your self-care?
Well, I joined a gym
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't been there in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
I've been so busy with the restaurant.
Uh-huh.
So I text them. I was like, I'll be there next week. They be like, come on, I need to hit the mats. I say,
Uh-huh.
okay. But just hanging out with my sisters or working. I work a lot, going to church. I love to sing in the
Mhm.
choir and just hanging out sometimes. Let your hair down sometimes.
All right. Yeah, okay. So is it difficult running, like, well, although the restaurant hasn't started, but the truck and then the restaurants, or do you have people that you've trained to do certain things?
No, I haven't. I've been seeking, but I know God is gonna send me those people that, that's gonna be there for me that I can trust. And I have this lady that I found that's gonna help with my bookkeeping and just training people whenever they come in. I'll be doing all the training because I was a certified training manager at churches for all those years. So I know all about how to train and etc. But yes, and I be trying to put my sisters to work, but I don't think they want to work. They gonna get me for saying that.
Look, all right, look, you missing an opportunity to be a part of a chain here, a franchise. All right, JLM blowing up.
No, they say that JLM. I work too hard. They don't want to do that kind of hard work.
Oh, they don't. They don't. Okay, all right.
Doctor.
Yes.
Miss Lisa Brown McKee says, Juanita, your sister Carol is listening too. She's so proud of you.
Okay.
All right. So the restaurant, the truck. What else do you see for Juanita?
Well, I'm just taking life one day at a time. I'm just gonna tackle this restaurant and make it the best ever. If God say open up another restaurant, I'll open up another one in a different place, and I'll keep life going as long as I'm here till He take me home.
What's your message to the folks who are watching, especially those who are dealing with their own grief? What's your message for them?
Well, my message to those that have lost a dear loved one and it has kind of hit you or got you in a slump that you think you cannot get out, you can get out. Just keep on waking up every day. Keep on getting up every day. Find something that you like to do or you used to like to do and pick it back up again. And just try to live life on life terms. Sooner or later, when you make that one step, God is going to make two for you. So you have to just keep on striving every day. And once He make those two, you're going to be making 5 more after that. And life would get better. That loss will still be in your heart, but you just keep on living life to the best that you can. Love yourself. Love self.
Well said. You were going to say something, Malcolm?
I was trying to bite my tongue, but everything she says is hitting me in the heart. So I just made a post today because it's been a hard first month
in this
of,
year
of the year. Because some of last year is still lingering around, hanging around, and making things difficult for this year. But I've just made a post, and it relates to what you said.
Okay.
My post said, I'm paraphrasing because I can't quote. The difference between a loser and a winner is the winner keeps swinging the whole time. You might knock him down.
Right.
He keeps swinging all the way to the ground. He's swinging and
Still
kicking.
swing.
And gets up swinging and kicking.
Yes.
But the loser just going to lay there and ball up.
Right.
I just made that post today.
Right.
So everything you're saying, I'm just like, Doctor, you're fired. So
What?
I'm
Why am I fired?
God just give you a witness.
Yeah.
A witness to it.
Right.
Right. He confirmed it. He confirmed it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Juanita, I'm going to throw this out. It's not part of this, but I see motivational speaking in your future. I see you really going out and doing some support for people and helping them to reshape their lives and just being a source of encouragement because, again, people need to know that this is possible.
Yes. Yes.
And that the life is still going on. And it's what you choose to make it. You ever thought about that?
Well, no, not a motivational speaker, but like I'm a lay minister at my church and I minister and I preach from time to time. But I started a book years ago when Lacey passed, my firstborn. And when I lost Margot, that I haven't picked it up. And my mom and my brother that was, so I think I'm gonna continue my book writing, and that way it may reach the nations and the world to be able to help somebody and to, just bring them out of the rut that they're in, and just help them through life. Help them through life.
You're absolutely right. Okay, all right. Hey, we have her here, Juanita Brown Christian, guys. Can we get a hand clap, Malcolm?
Yes, we sure can.
All right, let's get it.
Yes, we sure can. Thank you for coming tonight, Miss
Thank
Juanita.
you for having
me. All right, and that is JLM's Chicken and Waffles. Malcolm's going to pull the picture of the truck up with the phone number on it. Juanita does catering. She's opening up a restaurant. Guys, she's going to post this on social media. Let's show up in droves in Bryan when she has her grand opening. And even if you don't eat chicken, just come out anyway. All right? Just come out anyway.
In Bryan College Station?
Yeah, Bryan College Station. Okay. Yeah, okay.
And you don't have the location as of yet, correct?
I have it.
You have the location?
I have the location.
Will there be any, where will the flyers be posted? On JLM's food truck page?
Yes.
Or will you be making another page?
No, I have a JLM's food truck page, and I'll post it on my personal page, Juanita Brown Christian.
Okay.
Instagram, it just states JLM's Chicken and Waffle is my Instagram, and the website would be back up.
Okay.
Also.
Okay. All right.
It's kind of a redundant question, but a lot of people ask.
Okay.
Because everybody doesn't cater. Do you cater?
Yes, sir. I do cater.
Okay.
I have 2 weddings already booked for this year.
All right.
I have family reunions that's already booked for this year, and we cater. We cater for Texas A&M. I got a few caterings next week.
I saw that.
Texas A&M. Matter of fact, I have 2 jobs next weekend on one day. But yes, we cater.
And they can reach you at either one of these numbers, correct?
Just the 820-2223.
Oh, just the 83. Okay, just the 820, y'all. Just contact 979-820-2223, and they ask for you, correct?
Yes.
All right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so guys, Juanita's going to stick and stay. She's going to come back. We're going to switch up and have Sarah Larson come, who's our life coach, to just talk about a few things, okay? And we'll have them both here at the end. We want you to call in with your questions, or if you have comments, or if you just want to shout out, whatever. We want you to call in. We have a giveaway too, so we want you to stick and stay now. I have something that you can use this summer. All right, so Malcolm, you want to give us a jingle and we'll do a little switcheroo?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, and Facebook. I hope you've enjoyed the first half of the show with Miss Juanita and JLM's Chicken and Waffles. Y'all get ready for her grand opening. It's coming up very soon. Pay attention to her Instagram and her Facebook pages at JLM's Chicken and Waffles on Instagram and JLM Food Truck on Facebook for updated information. This will be in Bryan College Station, so if you have family and friends in Bryan College Station, please spread the word for. We're going to take a quick commercial break as I put the food truck up along with the contact information that's alongside of her truck. We'll be right back on the Dr. Annette Show, on the Wisdom Walk.
That's all right.
With Dr. Annette Show, live on Real Talk 100 Radio. We'll be right back.
You had me all cheered out, and you saw me holding it. I was holding it. Let me get it together. Thank you. Somebody has asked me. Present.
I thought you said that. I feel like a celebrity.
There you are. There you go.
All right, here you go.
Oh, you. All right, everybody, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back on the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette show, live on Real Talk 100 Radio. Everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Like, welcome back, Carter. Am I showing my age?
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm showing my age. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. This is the show right here. I have the flyer up on the screen. We've had the first hour with the lady on the right, Miss Juanita Christian Brown. She's the owner of JLM Chicken and Waffles. You can find her at JLM Chicken and Waffles on Instagram and JLM's Food Truck on Facebook. She told her life. She's a survivor. She's a fighter, and she's still going strong. That was her message. Get up and keep going every day, no matter what you're going through. Now, up next on the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette show, we have Sarah Lawson, life coach. She's the owner of Wake Up Sarah. You can follow her on Instagram, Facebook, and I'm sure she has some TikToks and chit chats and whatever. Just a few more social media platforms that she's on. But anyway, no more further ado. Let's get back to the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette with the good doctor, as I like to call her, Miss Juanita. Juanita, have mercy. I'm talking too fast.
You must have chicken on your mouth.
I must have chicken. She went to talking about.
I do.
She went to talking about how crispy it was.
know.
I got chicken on the mind. I thought we were gonna have some tonight. That's what I thought.
I thought so too.
Little
But,
sample.
yeah, I'm telling you, I have to go to Popeyes.
I might have to go by that myself. Just a few minutes. But back to Miss Dr. Annette Williams, everybody. She owns her own business. It's called
Williams Counseling and Play Therapy.
I'll put that information in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back to the show.
Okay, all right. Thank you guys, those who are out there in social media, whatever it's called, land. I'm thankful that you're still here. We want to thank again Juanita for being here, just a joy. But now we're going to move on to someone who is a life coach, but she has had another career. I won't talk much about it. So I actually was introduced to her via text by Mr. Logan Johnson.
Amazing person.
At Loganitis Gym. And if you all remember, last year, November, we did a show at the gym. And he did like a little boot camp with the people who went with us. And he was running his Black Friday special. Still running some good deals, guys. And this is not just a gym where you show up and you get on the treadmill. You actually go in and you have coaches who work with you every day to help you reach your fitness goals. So, yeah. All right. So check him out. But anyway, he told Sarah, I guess, about me.
He did.
And then he sent me a text about Sarah. And I said, okay, well, let me give her a call. We spoke and here she is. All right. So Sarah, tell us where you're from.
I'm originally from Louisiana, born and raised. We moved here 7 years ago. It was out of a whim. I literally prayed. I had my son. My son was less than 2 weeks, 3 weeks old. No, he was maybe even a week. My parents were coming back to Kingwood, Texas, and I wanted my kids to grow up around their grandparents. And so I was all hormonal and I was like, I'm moving. And they're like, what? And so we put our house on the market. We had a big flood like Harvey hit and we came here, a whole bunch of things. And we were put right where we were supposed to be. And so we've been here 7 years and just building a life here and just really creating new. It was the best decision we've ever made. And so
what part of Louisiana?
Right outside New Orleans.
Okay.
So we grew up a little everywhere. My mom was from Chalmette. My dad was from West Bank, so a little bit outside of the city. We grew up in Metairie, Kenner area, and then on the North Shore. So we were a little everywhere. But it was home. You know, New Orleans to me is New Orleans. Like everything's so close.
Yeah,
it's like so right outside.
Okay. All right. So you and I chatted about how you became a life coach, but prior to, and I think you still are, physical therapist, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what led you to become a physical therapist?
So I've always been very athletic. Sports, they saved my life. It was a way to get out of my home life. That kind of threw me into all of this. It was my identity, actually. You know, I played travel softball, played volleyball, and I was good. It was my separation. And fast forward, I didn't know what I was going to do in high school. I didn't have much, what to do, where to go. You just got to get a good job. Hey, my parents were very young when they had us, and neither one of them had a college education. So we really didn't have that push. And so I was sophomore or junior, senior year in high school, and I saw I thought was an athletic trainer. And I was fascinated with what she was doing. Like, she was healing us. She was doing this. And she's like, I'm a PT. I was like, hey, tell me more. And so from that point, I went to LSU, kinesiology, and was like, I didn't even look back, didn't look at anything. I was like, psychology was the minor. I love people. I love the body. And I wanted to know everything about it. And what really kind of pushed that in was freshman year in college. My sister was in a car accident and it almost took her life. And we're really close. Man, I needed those tissues. We're really close. I mean, being 7 years apart, you would think we would be distant, but we are literally, I mean, mom and daughter, sister and sister, but and that took a toll. And when she made it through, the physical therapist looked at her and said, what's your goals? And doctors told her she may never walk again. She had such a high fracture on her neck. And she said, I want to walk. And the therapist said, you're going to run. And to give that motivation and to see my sister can run now and to see how bad the accident was, that was just like, okay, I'm going. And so that's really what pushed me. I was like, if somebody can give my sister her life back, what can I do? And that was so empowering to me.
So talk about the correlation between the mind, the body, and the spirit, because you just said something key. The physical therapist said, you're going to run. Talk about how all of that plays into the physical therapist role.
So the mind is the key, giving motivation to somebody, giving somebody hope. And diving into everything. I've worked with so many different people. I did home health and still do, just because I love it and God called me back. I saw so many people ill and so many physical ailments in the body that doctors couldn't tell you. And that didn't sit with me. I knew a God that was powerful, and I knew a God that did not create us to hurt and did not create us to say, here's a pain pill, go about your day, and you're going to live like that at 50 until it's time, and miserable and out of it. And I didn't accept it. And so I went on a quest. I went on a quest to figure out what was it. And I prayed hard. And what came to was, it starts with a thought and it starts with a belief and it starts with a foundation. And if you don't get to a belief or a hurt or a trauma, it's going to manifest somehow in the physical body. And so I started playing around with that. I started working with some patients who were really depressed, couldn't get out of bed, couldn't do these things. And I started talking to their mind. And I said, you're not a diagnosis. I don't want to hear a diagnosis. And I'd call them by name. And what did God say? I called you by name. And so we'd call it, but that is not who you're going to be. And my number one patient who put me into the space that I am today, I remember like it was yesterday. She was a total knee replacement, but it was more than that. She didn't even need a total knee. It was just, the doctors were like, yeah, it's arthritic and she's at that age, but she couldn't walk. She wasn't getting the things that she had. And so we did the rehab, we did the things. She literally couldn't stand up. And worked with her, did things, get her prepared for the surgery. Then I get her post-surgery. And her children were like, I don't understand. We x-rays are good. She still won't stand. So I looked at her husband and I said, do you mind? I said, you have faith. Do you mind if I pray? And I prayed and I put my hands on her. And I looked at him and I said, you had some sort of real bad trauma centered around childbirth. And they both started crying. And he said she had multiple miscarriages. And I said, Mama, you got to let that go. You got to let it. And so I said, are you ready to let this go? And she said, yeah. And we asked God. I said, all right, you ready to try? This woman stood up. And when I tell you nothing short, and it was insane, she walked. And her husband looked and he said, I don't know what happened. I said, it's the mind. She was ready. She didn't understand. She didn't even know. And she walked and he said, I'm going to tell you something. If I got my wife back, she hasn't watched the Astros in X amount of years. If she watches the Astros this weekend, I'm going to call you and let you know. I said, you better. And we're crying. I mean, we're full in tears at this point. And he called me that Saturday. She watched the Astros.
Wow.
And that just put me, and I'm like, God, you are powerful. You are in charge of the mind. And that just started pushing me into my work further and further of teaching people how to control their mind and let go of things that they were holding.
I want to go back to something you said, though, about diagnoses. I hate diagnoses. And when I have a patient come to my office and they say, oh, I was diagnosed with such and such and such and so, they become that.
For sure. You manifest it. You call it in.
And they hold on to that. And so I don't even tell the kids. I may talk to the parents, but when I'm seeing the kids, they come in, oh, I'm bad, or somebody told me I was this, and they wear it. And I'll say something like, you're not bad, you're just hyper, and not everybody understands that. Because to plant that seed in a child's head and to have them come to me and say, well, I'm never going to get better because everybody says I'm so bad. We have to be very careful about the words we use, because the words do have power. And if you don't have someone in your life who can talk you through that and turn that around and show you that you are bigger and better and more than these words, they're going to stay in that place.
For sure.
They're going to stay in that place.
For
So
sure.
I agree. The mind, the body, and the spirit all work together, but the mind is so powerful, and we only use about 10% of our brain.
Absolutely.
About 10%.
People don't realize that. You really do. You really do. And that's one thing that I teach people is the power of the mind. And it is. I have one trick up my sleeve that I teach people: the power of visualization, the power of the mind, and they're always mind blown.
I keep telling my sister, oh, you have something to
Help me out.
Yeah.
I've been out of school too long.
Yeah.
I took several psychology courses and several sociology courses, and they told us exactly what y'all are talking about. And I forgot the term. It's a form of psychological conditioning.
So psychosomatic?
No, it's something where it's
classical or operant conditioning.
I can't remember, but I do know that it was centered around what Sarah just said and what you said. When you constantly tell somebody you're bad or you're good, you eventually grow into that. I forgot the term.
Okay.
You can't remember either.
I can't. I'm not at this
It's not
time.
coming to me either. But I know, and it's true. And I'm that kind of goes into some of my story that I'm sure we'll get into later, because that's again a big part of why I'm here.
Yeah. And I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
You knocked me off my game there, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's
All
meant
right.
to be.
All right. So, talk about when you decided to become a life coach.
Perfect. I remember like it was yesterday. So I went on my own journey. I was hurt. I was hurt deep. I come from two parents who were amazing deep down to the core, but they were hurt. There were two young children who had 4 kids by the age of, 25, and they were babies raising babies. And you know, the generational break, my grandmother used to always call it the generational curse. And she was, God rest her soul, she was 92 with all of her wits when we lost her a year ago this month. And my whole life I would hear her say, when is the generational curse going to end? And I never understood. And so I found myself, I ran from my whole life, tried to get out, sports, went and got the education, thought I was going to have everything. And then I found myself with my first son pregnant for my daughter, and I went to traditional counseling my whole life because we needed it. And I found myself at the crossroads again, the same thing. Nothing was fixed. So I turned to God and I'm like, I don't know what to do, because I literally turned into the person I ran from, the person I said I would never become. And I'm like, why? Why? And what it was it was the labels. It was the names. It was the things that were called upon me. And there was so much anger and so much resentment. And what it came down to is I had to heal myself and find myself. And the only person, like Miss Juanita said earlier, was I had God. No one understood on the outside. I was this big, tough girl, right? I was strong. I was the voice of the family.
Yeah.
But what they didn't realize, even my husband, when I sat there weeping, months pregnant with my second child, and I'm like, I turned into her. And he's like, you're nothing like her. I said, I'm everything. You don't know what I feel. You don't know what I mask. And I loved her. But I there was a part that I just couldn't let go. And so I said, I've got to do this for my kids. So I healed. I went through this journey of finding myself through faith, through spirituality. I healed my body. And I was, really wanting to help people find their physical aspect, because that's all I known through my traditional studies. And then I said, no. God said, stop. You are going to help people just like you helped yourself. There's more to you. There's more to your story. You're not these labels. You're not your hurt and pain. And not only that, I'm going to heal the relationships that have been broken that brought you here. And I didn't realize that until 7 years later. And he hadn't foreseen and shown me that until 7 years later. And it was that made me go into coaching, because I thought I was alone. I felt alone. And then talking to other people, it was broken. We have a lot of brokenness in this world.
Yes, we do.
And we are not meant to live like that.
No, we're not.
We weren't created for that. So that's what brought me here.
And we have such an avoidance approach when it comes to helping. We're helping others in their situation. We're in denial about our situations. And so if it doesn't bother me, I won't bother it. But it is bothering you.
For sure.
And we've also made therapy taboo. We've made people feel bad, who want it, and just, well, if I do it, then my family's going to think I'm crazy or I lack faith and all of that. And so we have to change our mindset about that, because as you said, we have so many people who are broken, and broken people hurt other people.
Absolutely. I have a saying, hurt people, healed people, heal people.
Yes.
And I knew that if I didn't make a change for myself, I was just going to continue that generational process through my kids.
Yes. So my thought came back to me, the one that someone is with a question.
Hold your thought. Hold your thought. When Miss Charlene Betts is tuned in on Facebook, longtime friend of ours, about 7 or 8 years we've known her. When we end it and just believe in self first, God will always reward us for trying to live to our potential. We're all so amazing, and each brings something so amazing to the table. But sometimes fear of fronting our issues keep broken and in bondage, keep us broken and in bondage.
Sure.
And she's been commenting already, and she said, I'm commenting and sharing because many people won't share their traumas.
So going back to the point that I was going to make earlier is, I am so I don't want to say concerned, but let me just put it out. Because I understand how the mind works and the power of the mind. I told my sister a couple of weeks back, I said, I want to go and spend a couple of weeks with some of the Tibetan monks and learn the meditation and just kind of see what they do and come back and bring that to help people learn how to meditate and learn how to get in touch with, their body and heal themselves and all of that. I mean, and this is real.
No, it's real. And I go further, and that's what's so unique to my coaching is I did go and study that stuff. I had to break myself down from my trauma. I had to get to my core. And I tell people who I coach, I said, for the longest time, I just cut that tree limb off.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody would hurt me and I would confront that situation. But what I really didn't realize was the hurt wasn't from that person.
Mm-hmm.
It was from a deep-rooted seed that was from way back when.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went, and when I tell you I went on a quest, I mean, I went probably crazy lady, studying breath work, meditation, visualization, different energy systems through the body. And it all brought me back to God. Every single thing brought me back to God. And now I'm studying scripture like it is my job, because I want people to understand. I was called for a long time, like the things that you're doing worships the devil. I'm like, no, but God's in my heart. Like he knows what I'm doing. He's leading me. So I really wanted to be able to bring scripture behind my work, because it's not me.
But isn't it something how people take their fears?
Oh, for sure.
And they assess what you're doing or judge what you're doing and say that that's the devil's work.
And that was the enemy. And I had to learn that. I learned so much about myself through this process, through coaching people and through understanding. I really have. And now I see, and if people would have known me 10 years before I came here, I was a different person. I was labeled, so many things. And there were people who saw my true self, and I was always me. I just was guarded. And now I let that guard down. You can't hurt me.
And, and most people can't accept the true self.
Correct.
Seeing that in you and seeing that in me, especially when you're a good person.
Yeah.
Oh, she's up to something. Or, oh, she can't be that good.
I
Or,
had
he can't be
someone
that
tell
good.
me when I first, they were like, I just didn't think you were that good of a friend because you were so nice. I'm like, wait, what? And it was hard. And so that put another thing on me, and that put a guard. But I was like, you know what? God's going to protect me. He's going to take the people out of my life and bring the people in. And I trust him, just like you were saying. Your foundation has to be so strong in faith in him. He drives me every single day, every decision I make. And I help people find that same foundation, find their faith, because again, like you said a minute ago, he knew you before you were formed. He named you in every aspect. And if anybody out there is listening, this is what I want to share with you about all of the things in life. He knew you before you were formed. And if you live in fear, you are hiding your truest gift that he sent you here to serve his people. And you are stealing from people. You're stealing your presence to ignite theirs. And that's, I was like, I don't want to steal from you.
And he fulfills his purpose through us. So if you're, like the parable of the talents, if you take your talent and you hide it, what good is that?
Right. And I was hiding.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I was hiding. I was playing small. I was playing really small. But it was my journey. I had to go through it, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not disappointed. And that's one thing I said, I'll never live with regret, because it all brought me where I'm at. And it's beautiful,
awesome. Okay. So you became a coach and you started a business.
Yeah.
Talk about the business.
So Wake Up is a coaching business that I help people find their growth in everything that they do. I mean, I work with individuals from divorces, from career change, from just, I am stuck and stagnant in life and I don't know where I'm going. And what really sparked that was I was in that position and I had it, right? I had the family, I had the career, I was, physical therapy was it, but I wasn't fulfilled. And so I was like, what am I doing? Oh, I'm just living the worldly life. And that was not okay. And how many other people are doing this? How many other people are scared to face their traumas or face their burdens or face the grief? And when you can't face it, and it's scary. I remember thinking back in college, I'm going to have to unpack these bags one day, but today's not the day because I got to go. And when I decided to unpack it, I was scared. But what got me through it was I already experienced it.
But isn't it so freeing to release those things?
Well, I'm lighter.
and look those things in the face and say, you know what, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
I've experienced that. It's just like things that used to bother me don't bother me anymore.
Correct.
Because I made a decision
Yeah.
not to. I'm bigger than that.
I'm bigger than that.
You know, and my purpose is bigger than that.
Yes.
So, you know, when I hear foolishness, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
My sister said the other day, she said, Mama, she's not going to argue with you. She's not going to, you know, she was just talking, not that we were arguing. She said, she's not going to argue with you. And I don't.
There's no reason.
There's no reason.
There's no reason.
And so I just don't assume things that aren't mine. I just don't do it. Okay. So what are your hopes for the clients that you see? Now, from a therapeutic perspective, we're about the client's wishes, their desires, you know, and so we work from a goal setting perspective for the client. But when you see people come in, and same thing for me, we have thoughts about them when we meet them and hear their story. What are some of your hopes for the clients that you see?
To just live a joyful, fulfilled life and to have the tools to cope through the hard, because life is going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And going back to scripture, when we first had original sin, God looked at Eve and said, you're going to have children and it's going to hurt. So right then and there, he said, we're going to have pain in life. We're going to have pain. And then he looked at Adam and said, it's going to be hard.
You got to till the ground.
So I want them to know that, you know, we have this notion that if we get through our traumas or we get through the things, life's going to be peachy. No, it's not. It's how you look at it. It's how you face the hard and what you do with that. And so I want my clients to know you can have a fulfilled, joyful life. You can create the dreams and the goals and the aspirations, but along that way is going to have growth because you're not where you want to be.
Exactly.
You're not where he wants you to be. And he told us it's going to hurt and he told us it's going to hard, but he also told us how to get through it.
And a news flash, he never said we would not be without pain. He never said that we would not have adversities, but he did say you can get through these things better and easier with me.
Exactly.
And so we missed that part.
Exactly.
You know, like Juanita said earlier, you know, I got, it's me and God.
That's it.
That's all you need.
That's it. And that's the thing. If we realize, who are we pleasing? Who are we trying to figure out judgment from? And there's millions, you know, especially with social media platforms and things like that. There's millions, billions of people out there that we're judging or judging ourselves, but there's really only one. And when you sit back and you think, oh, I only got to talk to one. I only got to please one. I only got to listen. It makes life easier.
Yeah, it does.
It makes it a lot easier. At least that.
And something else too, we have to do more talking.
Yeah.
Because we allow our kids to spend so much time on social media that they are influenced by the things that they see.
Yes.
And so they come up with all that stinking thinking. And then we're trying to figure out, well, why are they contemplating suicide? Why are they using drugs? Because we haven't been in their life.
Right. And you know, distraction is one of the D's that the enemy will take. He's got 5 D's that he'll take from us. And one of them is distraction. The other one's doubt, defeat, delay, and distraction. And the biggest distraction is social media and a cell phone. And you know, my kids are young and they always want YouTube. And I'm like, baby, I'm sorry. You got the wrong mama. You need to take it up with the big man above because he sent you to me. And we're not going to do that.
And thank you for doing your job.
Well, and I want to be the mom, and I love my mom to death. I do. And I pray every night for her. But I want to be the mom that I wish I had. You know, talk about grief. You know, grief is not only just when people pass, it's when people lose themselves.
Yes.
And that's a hard thing.
Yes.
You know, and when people lose themselves, they don't realize who it affects. And so I really wanted to give my kids that.
Good. Were you going to interject something, Malcolm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I have to pick on it right quick before I tell you what I'm about to say.
Okay.
A friend of mine that I introduced to y'all a few minutes ago, her name is Miss Charlene Betts. She's playing the shy role on me tonight. She's got a lot to say. I wish she'd call in
Call
But-
in. Come on.
Yeah,
I'd love
come
to
in.
chat.
because if I put this book she just wrote up, I'll cover you and the whole wall.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
I'll give you a teaser right quick. I won't hide us too long. But she says, Dr. Annette, I was always afraid of stepping forward. For years, I was labeled by family most. But I decided I will continue to believe them or show them differently. But it took me up until 50 years old before I believed I could. I had to leave some friends and family before I could stand alone
Yes.
and realize that I was truly amazing and never listen to others. They'll give you the lowest self-esteem ever. Love what you ladies are doing. Sarah, I was that person, but God.
And I'm gonna tell you, it was hard. It ruined relationship with my mom. It ruined relationship with my siblings. And it wasn't till recently they came back. And what happened was I had to let them go. And I had to be strong in who I was and redefine myself. And I stopped proving. I only proved to God.
Yes.
And now they know my boundaries, and now they know my love for them. And I see their hurt. And that's a difference when you can get to the point where you see, and that's what I want my clients to see, is when you can see someone else's hurt that they put on you. Remember, hurt people, you're healing. And when I sit back and I don't argue, I don't fight. I used to yell, I used to scream, I used to try to get my point. How do you, and now I go, yes, sir, I love you. I love you. Why won't you fight back? Because there's nothing to fight back.
Exactly.
There's nothing. And when they don't get a rise out of you and you know who you are so firmly, they can't take anything from you. You're not stripping my badge that God made me. And this is who he is. And so I firmly, the labels that they put on me, I own them. They were motor mouth talk. I was like, you don't understand. God was preparing me to talk, people. He wanted me to speak. And so he was preparing me at a young age.
Yeah.
You know, a lot. Yes, I am supposed to be a lot, you know, and that's just who he created. And I shut her off.
Yeah.
I shut her down. And so I'm going to tell you,
But see, your
Go on.
power was uncomfortable for her.
oh, for sure.
And so I have to shut you out when I don't know how to blend, or you know what I'm saying, with your energy. And so what I do is I push away, and then I lay all of the guilt and the blame on you and
Right.
say you're the one with the problems, when really it's me, because I'm struggling with who I am,
Right.
and I'm struggling with her comfort level, and I'm struggling with who she has become.
Right.
Recognizing that I need to follow in those same footsteps.
Absolutely. And you know what my path is God kept putting people in my path that had that same temperament. And so I was like, man, why? Even to the point where my sister looked at me one day, she's like, sis, why do you keep getting the same friends like this? The same ones who do. And I was like, oh, it is me. I got to go to my drawing board. I need to. And that's what I did. I went to the drawing board and I went inside. Me and God had some really sit downs, and he got me straight.
Won't he do it? Yes, he will. Yes, he
yes,
will.
he will.
All right. So you talked about, we'll talk more about the process of life coaching. So
Okay.
people come to you and they say, hey, I'm struggling with whatever.
So when I first meet someone who's looking for a coach, I do an intake coaching session. So I give them a coaching experience to begin with, to see if I'm a good fit for them, if it's something that they can see that would benefit their life with a, prolonged coaching, strategies and things like that. And so we go through an intake. It's, typically an hour and a half. And then we set goals. We really drive off of where they're at, where they want to be, and kind of what's the stagnant stuck in between. And typically it's a belief system, right? And so we start working on that belief system, whether it's a trauma, whether it is, and, trauma with a big T, where it's like a big, or trauma with a small, and it's something, labeling, but it's all trauma. And so I like to help people as life coaches to get to that aspect, because that's what changed me. I was that person that was going for success. I was that person that wasn't, so to speak, struggling. I had the degrees and had the stuff, but I still needed something, and it was to heal that trauma. So even if I had, I had some people who were coaching who would go through the coaching, but they weren't doing the trauma part, people that I saw. And so I really wanted to bring that in my practice. So once we do that, we pan out and we go through and we start working. And I work with mindset. So I give you the tools to help your physical body recenter. I give you the tools to help you start visualizing, journaling, getting the things out there, creating healthy habits for yourself. With my background in medicine, I really love and honor the body. It's the temple we have to do our service. And so I teach my clients, if they want, about nutrition and exercise. And so really creating a plan for the mind, the body, and the soul. And we start working and walking that for a 12-month period.
Awesome. Okay. Do you have a primary client base? Is it, more females, males, even mix?
It's more females, but I'm starting to get, I'm gonna pat you guys on the back. More men are coming forward and starting to say, hey, I need some guidance too. And a lot of the things that we don't realize as women, we do wear a lot of hats, but man, those men, they hold our hats for us too. And they need the guidance. So right now, a lot of females, because we're open and we're more easily to say, I need some help, but I'm going to proud, those guys are really coming and stepping out and saying, I need that love.
Good. All right. Yes.
I remember my term.
Okay.
It's called the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, okay.
That's what I learned in psychology. Self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a form of conditioning. They took us from a dog where every day you the dog. And hello, caller. Welcome to the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette show. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with tonight?
It's Charlene. That's Malcolm. How you doing?
I'm sorry, I called her out and she called. She's at work, y'all. She was being shy, and this is my friend.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead, Charlene.
I am so thrilled to see what she's doing, Sarah's doing, you too, Dr. Annette, because where was you guys when I needed you? This is the best thing I've heard because I needed a life coach way back, and I had my uncle recently tell me, he said, Charlene, it was always in you. He's been very supportive. And he said, it was always in you. I make a great figure. I'm a hospital administrator now. The same people that downed me, made me think I was nothing, I was less than. I've shown those people, but with the grace of God, I'm going to say his grace over my life because I wanted to prove, and I would still go back for the beat up guy. I would go back and back and back and back for the beat up. Over and over. They would diss me away. I would go right back to them and I would sit there, and if they needed me, I was there. No matter what the cause was, what they'd done in the past, because I'm a very forgiving person. You can't expect to be forgiven if you're not if you won't forgive, So I kind of just said, okay, I'm going to ignore what happened. Let's just do this. But it took me to leave everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. But Sarah, I would have loved to have you back then. Love to have you back there because it was very hard. And people don't like to talk to people. I didn't, because people have a tendency to judge your character as to what you're saying and what you're feeling. And I didn't need a judge. I needed someone to show me the way out, or the way to ignore the comments and the talk about me and help me to get through that part, And so I kept that to myself, and I joined a prayer group, which was amazing, a powerful praying family, I'll say, that really did the job. They let me know that they were there for me always. So family is not always family to me. Sometimes it's those that are outside that's family, because those people are so amazing and so wonderful to me. And I've moved up and up and up and up. And y'all, God has never ceased to amaze me what he's able to do. So I just wanted to call in real quick and tell you guys thank you. I had to text my things to you guys, but hey, God be with y'all. Sarah, please don't ever stop. And if it's anybody in the Houston area that I know that needs coaching, I'm definitely going to send them your way. Dr. Annette, you're powerful. I'll just say, a woman of God.
Thank you.
Malcolm, love you, always have loved you and Lisa. So y'all be blessed. I got to go, but I came in to show my support to you.
All right.
Thank
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Will insurance pay for a life coach sessions?
Some insurance will reimburse
Mhm.
through your health savings account.
Mhm,
You just take your slip and bring it back, but they
Mhm.
will not cover through insurance
Mhm,
claims,
mhm,
but they will do the insurance reimbursement.
Okay. So any advice for anyone who wants to become a life coach?
Just go for it.
Mhm,
Just
mhm.
go for it. Don't think twice. Don't, I recently ran into a coach who was, been in certain coaching industries, business coaching, things like that. And it was this degree and this degree, and I need this certification. Look, if you're going to be a life coach, go get certified, get training how to talk. Communication is key. You want to understand people. You want to relate, have empathy. So really make sure your communication with people and understanding, but you don't need all the 10,000, 20 million degrees underneath you.
Mhm.
You need love and you
Mhm.
need tender and you
Mhm.
need to be able to support somebody else's feelings and emotions. Because I'm going to be honest, life coaching is becoming a fad right now.
Mhm.
Coaching period is becoming a fad.
Mhm.
And, I've had the coach recently, she's like, I don't know where to go. I said, look, they come for you.
Mhm.
They come for
Mhm.
you. They come just like you choose a psychologist or you choose a doctor. You choose them because you're comfortable.
Right.
So be you through
Mhm.
everything that you do. Don't try to do what everybody else is doing. Do what's on your heart. And if it's good, hear that word good.
Mhm.
If it's for the greater good, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about the difference between a life coach and a therapist.
Okay. My personal experience with therapy was they were helping me through trauma and situations from past experiences. A lot of therapy too is helping with like mental, mental, disorders and things like that. Life coaching typically does not work through those mental disorders. A lot of life coaches do not go through your past. They won't go through trauma. I particularly do. So typically life coaching is going for your present and your future. So what are your goals? What are you going for? The steps to get there, the motivation. Again, I pride my coaching on going a little bit further. It's not just the goal steps. It's not just 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
We're getting deep. We're getting nitty gritty. Your life is going to change when you work with me. And I can't vouch for any other life coach, but typically that's what life coaches do is just kind of get you from the present into that goal, motivation, and really helping you get there.
Okay. All right. Now, I would be remiss if I did not say that you are also a motivational speaker, and you
Yes.
told me you want to get out more.
I'm ready. He's
You're
calling
ready.
me. He has
Uh-huh.
been priming me for a while. God, that is. Books are coming, motivation's coming, and it's time. What I speak on is life. I speak on life, just like we were talking about a minute ago. It's about not being stuck, having a will to live, and understanding that whether you're going through grief or you're going through trauma or you're going through an identity crisis, you've got to find, you've got to go, you've got to find the people, there are people ready to help you. You just got to get up and go. And that's what came to me with my name for the company. You've got to get up and go. So my motivational speaking is really helping people understand their mind, understand their motivation, getting out of bed every day.
Yes.
There's no excuses. Don't give me excuses. My husband, I'm telling you, I ask him all the time, like, how do you stay married to me? I'm like, how do you do it? Because I'm like, get up, let's go. There's no excuses. Change your mind. One of my best friends told me today, she's like, you probably told him change your mind. I'm like, I sure did. Because it starts with the mind.
Yes,
you
it
say
does.
you
It
can't,
does.
you won't.
Yes, that's right.
And I
That's
tell
right.
my kids that all. I can't. Okay, well, fine, you won't.
Mhm,
I tell my
mhm,
patients, I can't get up. Okay, bye, I'm leaving.
mhm,
There's no reason
mhm,
for me to be here.
mhm,
You already took my job.
mhm.
Now my job is to tell you you can,
Right, right.
and we will.
Mhm,
And I can't tell you how many times, given those people that motivation
mhm.
to get up, we've seen miracles happen
Mhm.
because people wouldn't. But just changing the mind and giving them
Mhm.
that love. And that's what I want my motivation to be.
Mhm.
I really want to speak on, gosh, I hope I told my late grandmother, I lost both my grandmothers at 92 last year.
Oh wow.
She
Long
was
time.
the last one. We lost her on Christmas.
Oh no.
But you know what I said? I told my dad, I said, man, God would take such a beautiful soul on his son's birthday.
Mhm.
So, but I told my grandmother before she passed that I was gonna finish my book, and she's like, "You better hurry." I'm like, "Where you going? You're not going anywhere." She knew,
Yeah.
and so my drive is to finish that book and push, and it's gonna be called Look Again,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
it's to help people to look at their life in a different way
Yeah, awesome.
and to really move that.
Awesome. All right. So, how can the viewers reach you, like for speaking events, or if they just want to participate in life coaching sessions?
Okay, so you can reach me through any of my Instagram, Facebook, any of the social media handles. I have a website, www.wakeupwithsarah.com. And so reach me through there and just connect, send an email, send a message, or just really get through.
Okay.
Good
All
doctor.
right. Yes.
I have all of her information on the screen, everybody. All of her information on the screen. Please follow Life Coach at Wake Up with Sarah on all social media platforms, correct?
Yes.
Wake Up with Sarah on all social media platforms. And I also added her website like she did, not to sound redundant, but I want to make sure our listening audience knows that the information is on the screen in case you missed her.
Okay. All right. So Juanita's going to come back. Sarah's going to stick and stay. We want you guys to call in with your questions, your comments, your thoughts, because our time is winding up. And so we want to make sure that we address anything that you would want for us to address. But before Juanita comes back, I want to do a giveaway. To the next caller, hopefully you have children or grandchildren, or maybe you just like this place yourself. I have 2 tickets any day, the summer of 2024, to Typhoon, Texas.
Ring, 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 ring.
2 tickets. And let me just say, I'm not going to hold on to these forever. So you got to figure out, we have to get together or send this to you. What is it? A certified mail or whatever. But 2 tickets to Typhoon, Texas this summer, to the next caller. And you can use them any day. If you've never been to Typhoon, Texas, look it up. It is an amazing water park. So I guess you can play our little jingle. We can bring Juanita back and field any questions that people may have.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I sure can.
Okay.
As we're going to a commercial break, I'm going to put Wake Up to Sarah's information back on the screen as we go to a quick commercial break and show our jingle, and we'll be right back on the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette Show.
Yep. Instagram, my social media, like my.
Okay.
You're trying to win.
Hello, this is Annette with the Wisdom Walk. Who am I speaking with?
This is our brother Tim Jones. I called for the house.
Well, you won 2 tickets to Typhoon, Texas. Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
So 2 tickets to Typhoon, Texas. Come with the house.
Come with what house?
Come with the house. I won.
I'm going to give them to Michelle at the church.
Hey.
You gonna give her the keys to the house too?
No.
Doctor, you need to call him Quick Draw McGraw.
I'm telling you, he's quick draw. I'm telling you. So you get the tickets.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I'll get them to Michelle.
Oh, no problem. Y'all doing a wonderful job. Wonderful job.
All right.
I'm liking what I'm listening to.
Hey, let me say it now, you guys. That my last show is going to be the last Friday of this month. And the reason I'm ending the show is because, as I said earlier, I became my mom's provider. And I need to take care of myself and I need to take care of her. And so a lot goes into this show. It's not just me showing up and
I can tell.
yeah, and having fun. It's contacting, be guest and creating scripts and things like that. So I had to make an executive decision. And so my last show will be the 26th, I think, of this month. But I have someone who you all don't want to miss that day. All I would say is he's retired from the NFL and he was recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. So put that on your calendar.
I heard that. That's all right. I was going to try to talk you out of it, but when you said it's for your mom, I ain't going to say nothing.
I appreciate that.
That's the best reason in the world. Take care of yourself and your family. That's the best thing you can do.
Yes.
You're so right. Yeah. But Malcolm's gonna have to step up to the plate, Malcolm.
She's breaking my heart. What's his name? Tim. She's breaking my heart, Tim. This is one of the best.
I know she is. I know she breaking mine, and I ain't even working with her. She breaking mine.
I'm gonna have to take the whole studio to her living room.
I heard that now. I heard. Hey, if you need some help moving, just let me know.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to that.
All right, Tim.
Not a problem.
You and Michelle use these tickets.
Oh, okay. No problem. And so the house will be on the last show. I'm gonna be ready.
Okay. All right.
The house.
My husband went to culinary school.
Michelle Jones, thank you for calling in, sir. Michelle Jones, I'm sorry, I didn't
appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Now Michelle is his wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to overlook you, Miss Jones. She said about 12 minutes ago, amen. I'm not sure what she was replying to. I'm sorry, Michelle. We'll be right back, y'all. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we'll be right back on the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette show, live on Real Talk 100 Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette. I'm happy that you have stuck around. Those who are on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you are, again, we thank you. We hope that you are enjoying the show. As I mentioned earlier, this is the countdown to the end of the show for me. It's bittersweet, but again, I had to make an executive decision, and my mother requires some extra care, and I am physically in a place to do that in terms of not having the responsibilities or, as my siblings, and they do their part too. But it is what it is, and maybe at some point God will see fit to bring me back at another time. So I want you guys to tune in the next 3 Fridays and help us go out with a bang. And we just appreciate you so much for supporting the show. So again, the end of February will be the last show.
So you think I'm playing? I'm not going to bring the studio to your living room? You think I'm playing?
I know you are. I know you are. And believe you me, Jaja has already asked, well, why don't you do it just twice a month, you know? And I said, well, it's just not the same, you know. You want to have that consistency with the show. So, and if, like I said, if anything changes, I know who to call and say, hey, I'm ready to come back.
Y'all call in right now and say, don't go.
Well, we're getting ready to wrap this thing up. And again, we have Juanita here, JLM's Chicken and Waffles, doing a phenomenal job opening a restaurant, guys. And hit her up on her Facebook page so you can follow her. And we want to all go out and support her new restaurant. You're talking about a woman who has had some adversities, at least seven very close, immediate family members pass away in a 3-year span, and she's still standing. She's still standing. She could have used that opportunity to wallow in pity and so on and so forth, but she didn't. Let's see what Ginger is saying. Do you have an age range on those that need therapy? Well, for me, I start seeing children as young as 2 years up to 99 years. So, yeah, I don't know at what age or do you start seeing?
It depends on I see some teenagers to help them with mindset. My kids are 6 and 7 and I work with them because, as much as I'm healed, they still have their own things to go with. So it really depends on the parent, how involved. But the youngest that I have right now is teenagers, freshman, sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
Okay. One more thing, good doctor. One more thing, and I'll get out of the way for a second, but this is not a dating site, fellas. We have people tuned in on YouTube. This is not a dating site. Go to one of the dating sites to ask your question. I'm not going to address it.
Oh, okay.
Back to the show.
Okay. All right. So, Juanita, I don't know. I missed this. It must have been something that Malcolm saw.
It was something on YouTube, and he's inquiring about someone.
Oh, okay.
And I'll let y'all know. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Juanita, you talked about the restaurant. I threw it out there that you should consider being a motivational speaker yourself because you really have a powerful message and a message of life, a message of hope, a message, and it's that glimmer of hope that helps people to hang on when there's nothing else in terms of what they believe. There's nothing else. What would you, if you were talking to teenagers or kids, because I think sometimes we dismiss their feelings when it comes to loss. And especially in African American community, you better get over it. Oh, stop that crying, know.
Right.
Speak to that teenager who is going through loss and just doesn't know what to do with himself or herself.
Well, I would tell the teenager, your life is not over. It's just beginning. I can remember when God said, your children are not gone. Their life just started with me. And so I would tell them, the peer pressure, anything that's out there that's got you bound, loose it, like you say, get rid of it. You can make it. You can start all over again. Wipe the slate clean. God washes it clean. He doesn't hold anything against you. And so what man hold against you, it does not matter. So I would encourage them to, or whatever the case may be, whatever they need. I think one reason why I have been so successful in business is because I've given people chances after chances. I've given people jobs that when people would turn them down somewhere else, I would say, hey, here's a job if you want a job. And I've got asked to do a lot of work, speaking on to people in the schools and in the education on how to hold a job down and how to go out and how to look and present yourself for a job. So I've done a lot of speaking as far as that. But if someone said a motivational speaker, I'm the type, I wouldn't turn them down, but I would go and give it a try.
Oh, good.
So,
All right. And I want you to make another point too, because something you said earlier is stuck with me, is the relationship that you have with your daughters. I want you to tell the kids how important it is to not fight against your parents. Here today, our life is like a vapor. That's what the scripture says. We're here today, and a second
gone tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gone.
Yes.
So speak from your daughter's perspective and talk to them about the importance of having a good relationship with the parents.
Yeah, well, I can only speak from how I was raised. I was raised up in a single parent home. My mother raised five of us. I have one brother and 3 sisters. And she built a foundation where we went to church, regardless of if we wanted to or not. We were going to go to church. So that foundation was put before us at an early age. A lot of times that I see now that's going on in society is that the parents let the children dictate how they shall live and what are they going to do. But
we couldn't do that.
Yes, right. So me and my children, I raised them according to how my mother raised me. We went to church. For me in my house, we would serve the Lord. And even if I had stepchildren, the same go for them. It was not, you were not going to tell me that you were not going. So we just, me and my children, they were so loving. They were so respectful. Anyone would tell you that. And well-mannered. I mean, say you should bring up a child in the way that they should go. So when they get older, they shall never depart. So my children, they were very respectful, loving kids, and I can't say much more about them. I mean, they didn't experience life as far as like other kids they went to prom, they went to this, they didn't have that chance, or they did this, but I mean, they had friends, their family, they loved their family. They would always say, "Mom, when are we going to have the next family gathering? When are we going to party at the house again?" They just love family. They were so lovable to all their aunts, and they just love people. They were like me. They love people. So,
okay, all right. Sarah.
Yes, ma'am.
For you mentioned during the break about some things that your parents had experienced and how you worked through that. So share that with the people who are watching.
I had 2 young parents. They were, again, I say babies, raising babies. And I tell my sister and I tell my mom recently, I said, I don't know how she did it. She was a single mom. My dad left when I was a little over 4, and I don't even remember living with him, and that hurts, but he left for good reasons. He left because the environment that we were in was not good, and little did he know at that time his leaving it set a spiral in our home that my mom was hurt. The only love, she was from a very abusive alcoholic family, and the only true love she ever felt was from my dad and his family, and that was ripped away because of the toxicity of them 2. But him leaving, he sobered his life. He remarried, and I have 2 beautiful sisters, to add to the 4 of us. I have, 5 other siblings. But his courage to leave, my entire life, I looked at the victim that I was. I looked at my circumstances and the hurt and pain that I endured, and I wore that like a badge. And then I was so proud of myself for getting through and getting out, but I really didn't. All I did was I physically got out, but I lived in a jail in my head. I put myself in this barricade. And so it wasn't until a few years that I started to really look again. And instead of looking at the trauma and instead of looking at the victimization of my childhood, I began to look at the hero who saved it. And it was my dad. If he wouldn't have made that decision, that it did have a really terrible trajectory for us growing up, but it also gave us the ability to live. It gave us a firm foundation of love. And he did. I mean, from the time he turned himself around, I was 13 when I moved out. I made the executive decision to leave. And that was hard. And I know it broke my mom, but it was what I needed to do. And it was his decision to change his life. And I tell him this all the time. You changed and you saved 4 kids. Your one decision gave 4 kids life. Even though it was hard, you gave us the opportunity for change.
All right, show's over.
You were our rock. He was, and he still is to this day. I mean, the man and my grandmother who had passed, I asked her, I dug in and I wanted to know. And I said, you know, she came from a single mama, never met her dad, and the triumphs that she, you know, the trials she went through. The thing that she said is love. And my dad and his siblings, they said, we went through some stuff, but the thing that I know is love. And I'll tell you, that man, I know why my mom was hurt, because he loves hard. And he, again, that one choice, and that one choice ripples effect. My one choice, my kids will never know what I went through. My kids will never experience the hurt and pain. And I'm open with my kids. And I tell them, they see me cry. What's wrong, mama? These aren't sad tears, baby. These are happy tears that I get to do this for you. And it hurts because I'm learning with you. But my dad is our hero. And that one choice made me look again and change my whole world.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Juanita, any closing thoughts? That was the closing comments. You want me to go get you a drumstick?
I need one. I don't need chicken anymore. I need two.
While you get yourself together, Miss Juanita, we have you a new follower. I'm sure both of you will get more followers in the next couple of hours or 24 hours or whatever. But D. Rochelle is tuned in on YouTube. She says, I'm definitely going to check out JLM. I love a good food truck.
Yes. Thank you.
Just
so
thought
much.
you needed some more time.
Sorry.
She got me.
She threw an uppercut over here.
Yeah, she did.
She didn't even mean to hit me.
Yeah,
but she was way over here.
Yes.
Go ahead with your closing.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for inviting me and just giving me this time to just talk about my life, talk about my journey with my grief, my faith walk, as you can say, the wisdom walk with you. And I just thank God tonight. I thank him for the people that he placed in my life for a time, for a season. Because like you say, some will be with you to the end, but some will fall off.
That's right.
And so you just keep on doing what you're doing. And you just keep on striving, keep on taking care of mama, just all of the above. I just thank y'all for having me, and those that are ready for JLM's Chicken and Waffle.
We're ready.
Y'all come out and support and just love on each other. That's what it's all about. We're here to love.
All right. Final thoughts,
I
Sarah?
just want to thank you too. Thank you for this opportunity to just share, and thank you for what you do. I mean, it's big, and God is definitely in your life. You're a God-fearing woman, and I'm grateful to have met you and be in your presence, because the work you do it's like no other. And so I thank you. Continue. God has got you, and continue to bless people, because I know the people you work with are definitely blessed.
I try.
You don't
I
even have to.
try.
You got it.
I'm still upset we didn't get to go to Africa. I was ready.
I didn't go to
Oh.
Africa. Well, that was because I'm supposed to go with y'all.
Anytime. You know, I'm always moving around.
COVID came, so that's why.
Yeah.
What'd you go to Africa for?
Mission work.
That's God,
Uh-huh.
he's calling me, and my husband's like, I'm not ready. I'm like, doesn't mean I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yes, ma'am. I want to ask Sarah a quick question.
Yes.
The main reason you had me over here in tears is because you have a lot of relationships that people love each other,
Yeah.
but it's toxic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are comfortable with toxicity.
Yeah.
Some people aren't.
Mm-hmm.
So because you leave doesn't necessarily mean you don't love the person. It just means that
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
somebody needs to be the bigger person
Mm-hmm.
and walk away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I might be getting a little too personal here, and I might get in trouble later. But I think I just wanted to let you know that she does me this way every show. She brings people in like you,
Yeah.
and I know she feels like I'm picking on her, but I love her to death. You when you started talking, I was just like, man, where'd that come
Yeah.
from?
You know, and I talked
It
to my
slapped me right in
dad.
the face.
I've like interviewed my whole life. Again, I was telling Doctor, I love life, and I love interviewing. I love learning. And I asked my dad, I said, because I never got these answers. I was so young. Again, I don't even remember living with him. And I said, why'd you leave? And he said, because somebody had to. Somebody had to, because he just joined. They were both young and dumb and doing things, but somebody had to, and he did. He changed his life. He went from not a college degree. He has a high school degree, and this man is running like so many, top sales, running regional sales. Like, he did it. And to sit back and know, like, what?
Did they reconcile? Okay.
I still pray.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming. He's still praying. I mean, just to be able to be, friendly and I pray, and I know he's powerful. I mean, he's already bringing so many relationships back, and that's all I can say is have your faith, people. Have your faith. Don't try to fix it. Just have your faith that he will let God and let go.
Yeah.
Because he's going to do it.
All right. Well, I think that does it for the show tonight. You're pointing at something.
A couple more comments.
Okay. All right.
Michelle Jones is still here. Thank y'all so much for joining us at the end of the show. Michelle's been here all night. Charlene Betts said, thank y'all for sharing all this. Victoria Williams said, absolutely. But let me get to the most recent ones. Continued blessings, Michelle says, to you and your dear mother, Annette.
Thank you, Michelle.
Charlene, the caller, says, don't forget me when you go to Africa. Michelle Jones, I think she was replying to me. She said, I left and I'm glad I did. Charlene Jones, in closing, unless someone else has something to say, I've enjoyed the Wisdom Walk tonight, y'all. It's so genuine. She also wants to go to Africa. That's the same.
All right, then. Well, I don't have anything else. Malcolm?
All right. Thank y'all. Thank y'all again for joining the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette show live on Real Talk 100 Radio. If you have anyone, even when we go off air tonight, you have someone who has lost it all and doesn't think they have anything left in them anymore in intestinal fortitude to get back up off the ground, this is a show you need to tag them in. This show tonight with Dr. Annette Williams, there's her information on the left-hand side. We spoke with Miss Juanita Brown Christian, owner of JLM Chicken and Waffles. Y'all make sure you follow her on Instagram at JLM Chicken and Waffles, correct? And then JLM's Food Truck on Facebook. They're having a grand opening soon. We talked about it in depth earlier in the show. Go and make sure you follow her pages to make sure you're updated on the grand opening information. And secondly, our second guest was a woman, a life coach who's named Sarah Larson. And you can follow her on social media as well. Just type in
On Instagram, it is Coach Sarah Larson, and on Facebook, it's Wake Up with Sarah Larson.
I went blank. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Wake Up with Sarah Larson, everybody. Type it in and she'll come up. If you need any help with life coaching, I put Sarah's information all throughout the comment thread. Just click the hyperlink and it'll take you straight to her website for more information on building yourself back up. She spoke of her story on how she built herself up, all the trauma, and so did Miss Juanita. If you have someone in your family that needs to be built back up, make sure you tag them in this show. Such a blessing just to know you. Thank you, Ginger. I've enjoyed the wisdom. I've already said that, but y'all tune in. The last, I guess, 3 weeks in the month, we're going to be winding down on this show. If you enjoyed it, make sure you join us every Friday night from 6:15 to 8:15 on the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette show. And don't be surprised if I end up in her living room with all you see in front of me. I like joking with her.
Oh, goodness.
She's going to have her last show February 26th. Because of personal issues with her family. So y'all enjoy this show. Join us back every Friday night from 6:15 to 8:15. All you have to do to watch live is go to our Twitter, our Facebook, our YouTube, and sometimes our Instagram. Instagram is on a glitch thing going. So we'll see y'all soon. Y'all have a great night and have a great weekend. This has been another edition of the Wisdom Walk with Dr. Annette show, live on Real Talk 100 Radio. Good night, everybody. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. There you go. Wave.
Oh, okay.
Good night, everybody. Enjoy our jingle and enjoy our flyers. I'll put up the ladies' flyers with their logos and their information, their contact information throughout the jingle for the next about 2 minutes. Good night.
I hope to go to the restaurant like that. So what? The whole week? Okay. Is what's her name still? You still communicate with her? The one from. Yeah.